Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtike. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, entitled Creation, Chapter 10. Lord Krishna departs for Dwaraka, text number 17. Sita tapatram jagraha Muktadama vibhushitam Ratnadandam gudakeshaha Priya priyatamasyaha Sita tapatra jagraha Muktadama vibhushitam Ratnadandam gudakeshaha Priya priyatamasyaha Sita taptram jagraha Sita tapatram jagraha Muktadama vibhushitam Ratnadandam gudakeshaha Priya priyatamasyaha Sita tapatram jagraha Muktadama vibhushitam Ratnadandam gudakeshaha Sita tapatram jagraha Muktadama vibhushitam Ratnadandam gudakeshaha Priya priyatamasyaha. Synonyms: Sita atapatram, soothing umbrella. Jagraha, took up. Muktadama, decorated with laces and pearls. Vibhushitam, embroidered. Ratnadandam, with a handle of jewels. Gudakeshaha, Arjuna, the expert warrior or one who has conquered sleep. Priyaha, most beloved. Priyatamasya, of the most beloved. Ha. So he did. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. At that time, Arjuna, the great warrior and conqueror of sleep, who is the intimate friend of the most beloved Supreme Lord, took up an umbrella which had a handle of jewels and was embroidered with lace and pearls. Translation with repetition. At that time, Arjuna, the great warrior and conqueror of sleep, who is the intimate friend of the most beloved Supreme Lord, took up an umbrella which had a handle of jewels and was embroidered with lace and pearls. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Gold, jewels, pearls, and valuable stones were used in the luxurious royal ceremonies. They are all nature's gifts and are produced by the hills, oceans, etc. By the order of the Lord, when man does not waste his valuable time in producing unwanted things in the name of necessities. By so-called development of industrial enterprises, they are now using pots of gutta parcha instead of metals like gold, silver, brass, and copper. They are using margarine instead of purified butter, and 1/4 of the city population has no shelter. Thus hence the wonderful transcendental Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we are in this beautiful section of Srimad Bhagavatam where I was mentioning that the class before the last class, that these women of Hastinapur are true embodiment of how to practice devotion in life. And they are setting that example for all of us to follow. So, this verse is, Sitata-patram jagraha mukta-dama vibhushitam ratna-dandam gudakeshaha priya priyatamasyaha. Sitata-patram jagraha. Atapatram is umbrella. Sitata-patram, Prabhupada translates as soothing umbrella. Little further in Bhagavatam, the mention of this umbrella, which comes as the Supreme Lord, or when we take up to devotional service, this transcendental umbrella not only protects us from the onslaught of the threefold material miseries, there is also a nectarial, ambrosial rain which also falls inside. So it not only saves us from the tormentation of this material miseries, but we experience spiritual bliss. Sitata-patram jagraha. Somebody is taking up this umbrella. Who is that person? We will see. And what kind of umbrella it is? Mukta dama vibhushitam. Our beloved deity over here, whom we worship, is called as Damodara. Okay. Dama means rope. Mukta dama. Mukta is referring to pearls, decorated with laces and pearls. Like, when we have the swing of the Lord, that rope we tied with some another silk, this thing or something, so that the roughness is hidden. So something like that. The rope, Mukta Dama Vibhushitam. That rope was decorated with laces and pearls. Vibhushitam, it was embroidered. Ratna Dandam Gudakeshaha. That umbrella had a rod, and that rod, or whatever that thing which holds the umbrella, is a Ratna Dandam. Ratna Dandam means the handle of jewels. It's a handle. The handle is handle of jewels. And who's carrying this? Gudakesha. The word Gudakesha finds mention in Bhagavad Gita in several places. It's a very powerful word. Of course, Gudaka means ignorance, also means sleep, and somebody who has control over that. Gudaka Isha, conqueror of sleep or ignorance. That's Arjuna who's carrying that. Ratna Dandam Gudakesha, Priya Priyatamasyaha. For whom he is carrying it? Who's very intimate to him, who's his beloved. That's the mood of the Pandavas, not just simply Pandavas who were getting enough personal, physical association of Krishna, even the Puravasis, including the women who hardly get a chance to see Krishna. Even they are carrying that emotions in their heart. Krishna, their lifeline, is finally going out of Hastinapur. That Krishna who had been there in Hastinapur for so many months, which I was telling in the previous verse. This is the picture which I had shown you, and if you pay attention to this picture very nicely, it captures so many wonderful things. And this is the beauty of the direction of Srila Prabhupada. Even subtle, finer nuances are captured very nicely. You can see there is an elephant which is decorated. You can see, of course, it's not so clearly visible, but if you see this, careful. There is a lady who is standing with folded hands. Right? There are some women who are standing here on the terrace. And Krishna, 1 foot on the chariot and 1 foot here, is about to leave. So this scene is something we should meditate. Very powerful scene. Imagine this is one of the days of Hastinapur, like any other days when they are used to seeing Krishna. Every day Krishna comes, he walks in that royal road, maybe accompanied by the Pandavas, mostly by Arjuna. One such day when the sun has risen gently and there is a golden hue on the city, and the streets, they're not noisy, yet the air is trembling. Why the air is trembling? The air is trembling because of the emotions. The emotions which has welled up inside. My God, Krishna is leaving. And he's the lifeline of the city. So he is leaving, and these ladies, they are watching silently. And it is considered in the Vedic tradition very inauspicious if somebody is shedding tears at the time of departure of someone. So there is the emotions which are welling up inside, and they are feeling that separation, but they are holding it. They don't want to cry because it is inauspicious for Krishna. So they are there, the eyes are wet, but the lips are sealed. There is tears which are coming out naturally, feeling the separation. They are controlling it. So, this is what Prabhupada mentions is the essence of bhakti. Not to demand from Krishna, but to seal his heart with our devotion. So now, not just enough. Now you see, then the royal streets have come alive. There are chariots, there are palanquins, there are conches which have been blown, incense, fresh flowers, and all this. And in the midst of all these things stands Arjuna. Look at Arjuna, Krishna's most intimate friend. His heart also is overflown with love. No words, but he is doing service. He's personally lifting the pearl-studded white umbrella. These are all very symbolic. He's not asking some soldier or servant, you come, come, come. Krishna is leaving, you carry an umbrella over him. He himself is doing personally. Arjuna, a king, maybe in the royal order, but he's performing the simplest of service with the greatest joy. This is the beauty of engaging in devotion. Bhakti is not causal. Yesterday we were seeing that. There is no cause. How you develop this bhakti for Krishna? Is there a formula that you mix it in your heart and bhakti comes out and then you engage in bhakti? It's not causal, it's spontaneous. So in the sacred moment, the love, it speaks in silence but bows down in action. Arjuna personally is holding that umbrella. And it is captured in the drawing. You see, this depiction of Krishna's departure is so nicely captured in this picture by the disciples of Prabhupada, by the direction of Srila Prabhupada. Wonderful. This is the first thing. This humility that, doesn't matter who I am getting a chance to engage in devotional service is exemplified by Arjuna himself, the most intimate friend of Krishna, not calling someone else, hey, pakdo, pakdo, umbrella pakdo. He's holding it himself. The purport has very interesting points, but we will focus on one point, and that's a very powerful point. That one line actually summarizes or captures the essence of this verse. And the line is, they are all nature's gifts and are produced by the hills, oceans, etc., by the order of the Lord. What are produced? Gold, jewels, pearls, etc. are nature's gifts and are produced by the hills, oceans, etc., by the order of the Lord. When the Lord gives order? When man does not waste his valuable time in producing unwanted things in the name of necessities. Very powerful sentence. If you unpack this, maybe the secrets of life will be unraveled in this process. Nature's gifts, this golds, jewels, pearls, everything are given by the nature, from the oceans, hills, by the order of the Lord. And when the Lord orders, when the human being doesn't waste his time in unnecessary necessities, in producing unwanted things in the name of necessities. Anybody knows any sentence of Prabhupada which sums up this one thing? Prabhupada puts it in a very simple thing. We should not waste our time in, when man does not waste his valuable time in producing unwanted things in the name of necessities. How does Prabhupada put this? Simple living, high thinking. Okay. When you hear that term, simple living, high thinking, what does come to your mind? Basic needs. How do you define basic?
Necessities are different from luxuries.
Okay. So, how many of you think you're living simply? You may be thinking, I'm really a simple person. What this question is? There is a reason I'm asking this question. Huh? संतोषम परम सुखम. तो संतोष मेरे को मिलता है 4 चपाती घी डाल के खाने के बाद, मखमली बेड में सोने के बाद. संतोष उसमें ही मिलेगा मेरे को. मैं क्या करूं? मेरा तो नेचर है अभी. तो भी कैसे हो सकता है? अभी संतोष नहीं आएगा ना. आएगा कहाँ से? नहीं, अपने ऊपर तो नहीं. यू टू बी वेरी ऑब्जेक्टिव. इट इज नॉट बेस्ड ऑन समबडीज सेंटिमेंट. प्रभु मेरे पास तो कुछ है ही नहीं, सो मैं क्या करूं? अगर होता तो मैं खा लेता, नहीं है तो नहीं खाऊंगा. No, you have to be very, very objective. Okay, let me, before even going there, is there a need for living, is there a need for having a simple living? What do you think? Why? Live luxuriously and go back, no? Not supposed to be here, understood. Parata chetasa, vyavasayatmika buddhi samadho na vidhiyate. Okay. But you may not be having bhoga ishwarya, but you have a just luxurious life. But your goal is to go back home. Okay. So I want the thinking process in your brain to start. Why simple living is needed? And what exactly, how do we define? Maybe I'm thinking in my mind I'm living simply. What is the definition of simple living? And what are some of the steps that I can take to live simply? These are some of the things I'll try to cover. We'll start with one very powerful verse of Bhagavatam, which talks about this thing that when a man does not waste his valuable time in producing unwanted things in the name of necessities. This comes in the 11th canto. Most of you might be knowing this. It says, Labdhva sudurlabham idam bahusambhavante manushyam arthadam anityam apiha dhira turnam yateta napated anumrityo yavan nishraya shaya vishaya khalu sarvatah syat. Labdhva sudurlabham idam bahusambhavante. Labdhva, having obtained sudurlabham, which is very rare, extremely rare. Idam bahusambhavante. Sambhava is birth. Ante, after many, many births. What is that? Manusya janma, this human being, the body of a human being. Manusyam arthadam, very valuable. Anityam, it is temporary, it is not permanent. Apiha dhira, turnam yateta napate danu mrityu yavan. This word turnam comes in that Sadgoswami Ashtakam also. Tyaktva turnam asesha mandalapati. Turnam means immediately. Immediately. When you have got this human form of life, without delay. Turnam yateta. Yateta means to endeavor. For what? Endeavor for liberation. Turnam yateta napated anumrityu yavan. Mrityu is anyway behind us. It is chasing us. Anumrityu yavan. But you should endeavor immediately. Nishraya shaya vishaya khalu sarvata syat. Anyway, this sense gratification business is available for all other forms of life. Endeavor yateta for nishraya shaya. The translation is, pay attention to the translation. After many, many births and deaths, one achieves the rare human form of life, which although temporary, affords one the opportunity to attain the highest perfection. Thus, a sober human being should quickly endeavor for the ultimate perfection of life as long as his body, which is always subject to death, has not fallen down and died. So it says quickly, the sober human beings should quickly endeavor for the ultimate perfection of life as long as his body is, which is always subject to death, has not fallen down and died. After all, sense gratification is available even in the most abominable species of life, whereas Krishna consciousness is possible only for a human being. Can you tell me in this translation, what do you think is the most important word? One of the most important words. Of course, everything. I will try to justify the one that I am trying to say, but if you want to guess, just two guesses. What do you think is the most important word in this? Quickly, I highlighted. Anything else? What is that? Opportunity to endeavor. That yateta you are saying, okay? Two ho gaya. Anybody? One last. Rare? Okay. The most important word in this verse is sober. Dhira. Who does this? A sober man. Everybody doesn't do. Thus a sober human being should quickly endeavor for the ultimate perfection of life, as long as his body, which is always subject to death, has not fallen down and died. Question to all of you is, who is Dhira? Can you tell me any definition of Dhira? Patience. One who is not agitated by the senses. Where is it mentioned? Okay. Okay. Actually, what Prabhu said, the first thing, first words of nectar of instruction. Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam, jivva vegam udaropastha vegam, etan vegan yo vishaheta dhira. Dhira, the first definition of sober. Who's a sober man? A sober man is someone who controls the urges, the 6 urges. What else? Who's the definition? What is the definition of dhira? As somebody mentioned, what is that? सीतो कहाँ सीतो बाबा? उससे पहले वाला देहिनोस्मिन्. देहिनोस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारम यौवनम जरा तथा देहांतर प्राप्तिर धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति. So you see the definitions of dhira which is given in Shastra is very. Who's a dhira? I can consider myself dhira. Somebody was telling patient. No. Definition of dhira, the first is who is controlling the urges. Second definition, who is not bewildered by the change of body. Dhirastatra na muhyati. This is a very important thing. Then what else? Where else it is there? और क्या हो सकता है? धीर. मनीष सिन्हा, PhD, दिमाग लगाओ, कुछ बताओ हमको भी. Dhira Dhira Priya is there. Okay. Same second chapter, Bhagavad Gita, which all of you said, 13th verse. In the 15th verse, again it comes. Yam hina vyathayanti ete purusham purushar sava sama dukkha sukham dhiram somratatvaya kalpate. That means who is tolerating the happiness and the sadness, the happiness and dukkha, happiness and misery. And then there is one more definition of dhira. Anybody knows what is the other definition of dhira? Where it is? If you tell this, I would say you are great and you'll get some extra prasadam from me. Very nice, and it's worth knowing that. Maybe a little difficult, I'll give you a clue. It is in Ishopanishad. It's a very nice verse. It's very, very nice verse. Anyway, I have to cover a lot of things, but I want you to come with me and understand what I'm trying to show you. The verse comes in Ishopanishad, it says, Anyad evahur vidyaya, anyad ahur avidyaya, iti sushruma dhirana, yanastad vichachakshire. Iti sushruma dhirana. A dhira is someone who knows avidya and vidya, who knows transcendental knowledge, who also knows ignorance. Is dhira. And it goes further. There are 2 more words which is used there. One is called sambhuti and one is called vinasha. Anybody can guess what could be these 2 words meaning? Sambhuti and vinasha. A knower of sambhuti and vinasha. Huh? Vinasha means destroy, that's what we know, but it is not. Sambhuti means the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the Absolute Truth, who is eternal. And vinasa is demigods, who are temporary. So who knows the absolute nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the temporary nature of demigods is also called dhira. So if you carefully see, if you carefully analyze the definition of dhira which I gave, there is a progressive level in that. Can somebody tell me what is the first level of dhira? What is the first requirement of a person who is dhira? who controls. Without controlling the urges, without controlling the senses, a person is not even considered to be a human being. Vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jivva vegam, udara upastha vegam. You have to learn to control. He is considered to be dhira. Second, what is the second definition? Who is not bewildered by the change of body. This change of body is a very strange phenomenon. Anyway, I'll come to this. So, who is not bewildered by the change of the body. And the third, who is tolerating the material conditions, this happiness and distress. And the last, who knows vidya, and who also knows the sambhuti and vinasa, who knows the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord, and who also knows the temporary nature of the demigods. He is considered to be a dhira. Very interestingly, why I brought up this topic of dhira and how it is relevant, because when you know this progressive definition of dhira, the basic qualification of unique human life is that he should become dhira. Otherwise, forget about that urge for self-realization, the urge to endeavor. Nothing will come if we are not dhira. First thing is to tolerate the urges, not get bewildered by the change of body, tolerate the material conditions, matra sparsastu konteya, that same verse, next after that it comes. Tolerate the material conditions and know about ignorance and transcendental knowledge and the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord and the temporary nature of demigods. So this is the difference. This is actually, if you don't know this, then we are called simply living in this material world. There is a difference between simple living and simply living. Simply living means we are living as per the dictation of our mind. Conditioned life means simply living. Spiritual life means dhira, sober, not directed by mind. We are directing the mind. There is a verse in Bhagavatam which comes. It goes like this: Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana. Anybody knows that verse? Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvair gunais tatra samasate sura haro abhaktasya kuto mahat guna manorathena dhavati sati manorathena sati dhavati bahi. If somebody is following the dictation of mind, he is not even considered a devotee by Narad Muni. Manorathena sati dhavati bahi. The difference between simple living and simply living, it's a big difference actually. The difference between these two, which I want you to pay attention, that there is a difference between simple living and simply living. Simply living means when you are just following the dictation of mind. Manorathena, there is a chariot of our mind. Manorathena asati, we are sitting in that chariot, and dhavati, we are running, dhavati bahi. So, when we are driven by this mind, when we are actually driven by the mind, Prabhupada writes, that means we are driven by the external energy of the Lord. How many of you have, I'm sure all of you would have done this some point in time, how many of you have seated in a ride, like a roller coaster ride? Some form or other you would have sit. You've never said? देखा है ना? Roller coaster ride में जब हम बैठ जाते हैं, what happens is when you sit in the roller coaster ride, they will make you wear some seat belt or some protection and some lever or some switch is there, they'll turn it on. You just go through the motions. There is hardly any control. It starts and then you goes. The only control that you have when you are there in a roller coaster ride is on your emotions. Whether I can scream, yeah, or I can remain silent. Or I can close my eyes, whatever it is. But I can't do anything until the thing comes to an end. Our body also goes through a roller coaster ride when we are following the dictation of mind. We come out of our womb and we are forced to exit from this body. And that's a roller coaster ride which we don't have any control unless we know how to control our mind. It just goes through. Just goes through. Very little control. It's called simply living, wasting our valuable time. So, simple living is not directed by the mind, but we are directing the mind. If a person, if he is simply living, then the mind keeps him within 3 spheres of activities. These are the 3 spheres of activities when a person is simply living, dictated by the mind. Can anybody? Those 3 things are lamentation, bewilderment, and intolerance. When you're simply living, there are 3 problems: lamentation, bewilderment, and intolerance. In the Bhagavad Gita, when the Lord starts to speak to Arjuna, in the 2nd chapter, first thing he says, if you want to progress, if you want to acquire spiritual knowledge, you should get rid of these 3 things. What is the first instruction which Krishna gives in Bhagavad Gita? Don't say in chorus. If you know, raise your hand. First thing which Krishna says. Okay, Madhav. Huh? Yeah. What is the verse Prabhu was saying? Anybody else? Asochan anvasochastvam pragyavadamscha bhasase gatasun agatasumscha nanusochanti pandita. Don't lament. Don't lament for this material circumstances. They keep changing. Don't lament for this. Lamentation takes away a lot of time, energy. Then the second thing is, the people who are simply living, bewildered. Bewildered by what? By the change of body. Dehinosmin yatha devisa. What is this change of body? What is the bewilderment? The bewilderment is when a child is born, small child, maybe somebody, whoever it is, born. After some time he realizes his body is getting formed. So muscles are 6 packs, 8 packs. Feels good. Somebody who's a boy, somebody who's a girl, she's also looking at herself in the mirror. Body is, getting formed. So there is makeup, make down, whatever you do. And then, first of all, seeing that body transforms, one gets bewildered. The second level of bewilderment comes when one gets attracted to the opposite sex. He says, oh, this is a nice girl. The girl is thinking it's a nice boy. And the bewilderment grows further. First of all, we are bewildered by seeing our own change of body. On top of that, we are getting bewildered by the attraction for the opposite sex. If that is not enough, people get married. There's another form which comes out, child. So, 2 baal idhar nikalta hai. Ek dant idhar aata hai. Oh, my child, so nice. The child, sometimes it is sitting, गिर जाता है, उल्टा हो जाता है, फिर उल्टा है, फिर सीधा हो जाता है. Starts crawling, starts walking, more bewilderment. So when Krishna says, don't get bewildered by the change of bodies, he's not just referring to our own bodies. We are surrounded by the change of bodies throughout. It's a bewilderment. So don't get bewildered by this. Very important. Not just bodies, even our minds are changing. I remember when I was a child, I used to fight with my younger brother, who will hold the finger of my father. When we are walking, ye finger kaun pakdega? Right hand, this finger, who will catch? So both of us, we want to catch that finger. But as you grow, when you become teenager, how will I throw? How will I get out of this thing? That's what we are thinking. Bewilderment. Minds are changing. Bodies are changing. Something else is happening. People are bewildered. And the third thing is, what is the third thing I told? Intolerance. Intolerance means what? We told that, there is sometimes some situation which is favorable. So I want to enjoy. Sometimes some things are not favorable. I want to counter that. And in the process of this enjoying and countering. Life goes on and there is no time for Krishna consciousness. The Bhagavatam beautifully puts this. It's called Gunarmi Chakram. When you are enjoying and countering, some situations which are favorable you are enjoying, some situations which are not favorable you are countering, then what is happening is by the waves of this modes of material nature, you are getting carried away. Like, imagine there is a wheel or something which is, coming and crushing you. Ting, 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 it is crushing. It's the wheels of the goodness, passion, ignorance. You are busy countering or enjoying. And, there is no time for Krishna consciousness. Gunormi Chakram. Gunormi Chakram. We are being crushed, we are being pushed by this. That's called simply living. Right? So that is why a devotee should be introspective. It's not about just cramming some verses, reading something ritually. No. I have to ask myself, am I being directed by mind or am I directing my mind? Am I being bewildered? Am I being intolerant? Or are there traces of this bewilderment, intolerance? And what is the first one I told you? Lamentation. Am I having those traces? Then how will I practice spiritual life? It's not possible. So a lot of time is wasted in simply living by chasing the mind. Chasing the mind. Mind is saying something and time is... You ask people, why are you not able to come? They're saying, how will I come? I mean, how can I possibly come? Because we are chasing some unnecessary, unwanted things in our life, in the mind which we have created, and we are thinking they're very important. In the Vedic scripture, in Bhagavad Gita, there are 3 duties which are mentioned. If you read the 4th chapter, there are 3 kinds of duties which are mentioned. One is a daily duty. Like you get up in the morning, you have to go for your ablution, you have to take bath. Can you avoid that? Can anybody avoid that? Unless you don't want to take bath for a reason, that's a different thing. You can't avoid that. Your daily duty you have to do. You have to chant 16 rounds. You have to follow 4 regulative principles or whatever. You have to fast on Ekadashis. You can't say that I'm bored of fasting on Ekadashi. Tomorrow onwards, next time I'll fast on some Trayodasi. You can't do that. So these are daily duties. And there are something which are called emergency duties, which you just can't avoid. You have to attend to it. And there is a 3rd thing which is called desired duties. Kamya Kama. Can you give some example of desired duties? What is this desired duties? And how so much time gets wasted in that desired duties? What is a desired duty? Watching mobile, shopping. No, shopping is required. No, you don't shop, how will you eat? What you will do? You have to be very, very precise. If you sense gratification, it's like Jnani says, sense gratification बहुत खराब है, हमको करना ही नहीं है. Practically, what is this kamya kama? What is the desired duty? What does it mean? Shopping also is necessary. If you don't buy, how will you live? Where is the problem? Huh? Practically, if you don't see, then you'll... what is that? Desired duty. Duty. There is a duty also. Ghum ke aana is not a duty. I'll give you example. Okay. Yes, bro. Go ahead. Go ahead. Planning for children's future is required. But if you become little specific, educating your children is a necessity of the parents. That has to be done. But be more specific. For example, I'll give you one example. Say, for example, from whichever your house is, from there to here, if you have to come, you need a car, because in Boston, without car, there is no public transport, you can't manage. But if you think of which type of car I should buy, right? अभी वो देखा मैं पार्किंग लॉट में एक और कोई नया गाड़ी लगाया, Rivian, whatever it is. Somebody else puts a Tesla, some new one. मेरे पास गाड़ी है. The purpose of vehicle is to ensure that I move from one place to another. but I develop a desire inside that. And to chase that desire, भले ही मैं मर जाऊं मगर वो गाड़ी लेके ही रहूंगा. This is how the time gets wasted, sucked away. Education is important, but what kind of education? Who decides this? We think this is very, very important to us, and we invest a lot of time. That is called desired duties. And in that desired duties, chasing, creating an artificial standard of life, time gets wasted. A lot of time gets wasted. So, actually, in a family, one should, if really one, sits and thinks, ultimately, I want to be successful in my Krishna conscious journey. So, if that is the case, then all these things that I have created, that is how people don't find time, because they want to chase a life and want to do something which they've decided. That's called kamya kama, desired duty, and they're busy doing that. Ultimately, I should see how I can give Krishna consciousness to others and how I can remain Krishna conscious. If that is the central goal, things will automatically become simplified. Ultimately, what education one can get is based on the intelligence and the ability of that child. But ultimately, a parent should be more interested in how I can give Krishna consciousness, Krishna prem to my child. So, there are some symptoms of people who are simply living. And with that, and I'll tell you how if one can come out of that simply living thing by practicing Krishna consciousness, the whole, the purport that we are reading will become, it will come alive. And the symptoms of people who are living, simply living, there are 3 symptoms of those. First is unrestricted family attachment. Unrestricted family attachment. Second is unwanted enquiries. And the third is unregulated sex life. Unrestricted family attachment, unwanted enquiries, unregulated sex life. This is where people who are living simply, means who are conditioned, their time goes away. They say, मेरे पास time ही नहीं है. Where the time is going, and this is what this is where the time goes. It's it's a very precise thing. If you see this properly, you will actually see unrestricted family attachment. What is unrestricted family attachment? What does it mean? What do you think? What is unrestricted family attachment? What does it mean? You should not be attached to your family members? How many of you think like that? बेटी बैठी है बस अटैचमेंट होगा कि नहीं होगा क्या करना है. Some people quote Bhagavad Gita 13th chapter where items of knowledge Krishna mentions asaktir anabhiswanga putra dara grihadishu. We should not be attached. But that is not the literal meaning. वो नहीं है. Actually, if you read the purport, Prabhupada says, if in a family, the family members are coming together, chanting Hare Krishna together, eating Krishna Prasadam, discussing Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and the last thing is engaging in deity worship, then that person doesn't even require to take sannyas. He doesn't have to give up. But if people are coming together, instead of spending time on these 4 things, they are finding time to spend on something else. That is called unrestricted family attachment. If the time in family is spent in these 4 things, it's perfect Krishna conscious life. But you see how much of time goes where the problem is. If the time is getting spent in some other place, and that is called unrestricted family attachment. Unwanted enquiries. What is unwanted enquiries? Enquiries? कितना pastime discuss करेंगे प्रभु हम कितना करेंगे? No, very simple. Unwanted inquiries means actually in a family, you see the husband and wife, they discuss everything. They talk about buying a property, investing, taxes, property or car, everything. Don't talk about Krishna consciousness. Actually, if you see carefully, a husband knows the wife the best possible way. And similarly, the wife knows the husband the best possible way. But they don't discuss amongst themselves how I can advance in Krishna consciousness. What should I do? How can I help the other person? What should I do? How can we ensure that together we are making progress? She knows him the best. He knows her the best. But there is discussion for everything else. And that's called unwanted inquiries. And the last thing is unregulated sex life. Unregulated sex life, if you read second canto Srimad Bhagavatam, very nice purport. I don't remember exactly the verse, but if you search, you will find Prabhupada mentions the test of our advancement in spiritual life is seen how we are free from gross sexual attraction and subtle sexual attraction. Gross sexual attraction is physically, you want to abstain. Maybe somebody, when he becomes old and the body is anyway ugly, maybe he develops some kind of this thing. That is grossly one can, maybe, he'll not indulge. What is subtle sex attraction? Subtle sex attraction is puja, labha, pratishtha. Prabhupada says, puja, labha, pratishtha. There is a book written by Raghunath Das Goswami called Mana Shiksha, teachings, instructions to the mind. In that he says, if somebody is hankering for puja, labha and pratishtha, it is like taking bath in donkey's urine and then going to meet the divine couple. Napoleon was given horse urine, or who, I think at the time of death, I don't remember, was it Napoleon? Horse urine? Maybe, I don't know, when he was asking for something. So whatever it is, I mean, imagine, cow urine you would have seen, right? The stench, the odor is very strong. Some people drink. One former Prime Minister of India, Morarji Desai, he used to drink, right? So it is donkey's urine. I don't know how, whoever has seen that. You take bath in donkey's urine and then you come to divine couple. How filthy it is and how supremely pure. So, hankering for puja, labha, pratishtha is considered to be subtle sex desire. Can somebody say, what is wrong? I mean, how is it subtle sex desire? How it is, how do you, I thought about this a lot. How can it be subtle sex desire? Just hankering for puja, labha, pratishtha. What is the problem with that? Of course, people who are karmis, they probably hanker for this. We understand that we should be engaged in pure devotional service. But how this is subtle sex desire? How? Love of self? Actually, this is a very subtle point, but pay attention to this and you'll get it. When we take up to devotional life, automatically there is going to be some puja, lava, pratishtha which will come. And people will recognize you, they will offer respects to you. This TP body meeting I had gone this time to Jaipur. From there we went to Karoli, right, to see Madan Mohan, the worshipable deity of Sanatan Goswami. So there were a few of us, some devotees like Janardhan Prabhu, Achyuta Prabhu, and few of us, we had gone together. One place we stopped the car and we took some bath. It was a pond, it's like a river kind of a thing. We took bath. There was nothing, for a long stretch there was nothing, and we had to do that. So, interestingly, all of us we took bath, and we were wearing gamcha. There were other people also who were taking bath. So we were not conscious of them. So they were taking bath and we took bath, and I was wearing my gamcha. तो पीछे से एक आदमी मुझे बुला रहा है, पंडित जी, नॉट ही इज शाउटिंग, I mean, no, I've told you, but anyway, he was shouting, पंडित जी, मैं बोला बुला रहा होगा, किसको पंडित जी बुला रहे, कौन की, who cares? He is calling. After that, after some time, I was busy wearing my gamcha. So finally, he came and tapped at my back. पंडित जी, आप सुन नहीं रहे? मैं कौन सा पंडित जी हूँ? मैं देखो किसको बोल रहे तो. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is, people look at us, our shaved head, our sikha, we are wearing Vaishnava attire. They respect. Respect comes naturally. Somebody comes and tells, माता जी क्या सेवा करते हैं आप, प्रभु जी आप क्या मृदंगा बजाते हैं, क्या क्लास, आप बढ़िया, यू ग्रेट. जब 2-3 आदमी ये बात बोल दिया ना, तो आदमी को भी लगता है सही में मैं ही तो ग्रेट हूँ यहाँ पे. द मोमेंट वी सी, वी टेक दैट, हो गया, प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है. एक्चुअली वी आर नथिंग. Conditioned souls, contaminated, polluted aims of life. By mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we are able to say something, do something, engage in devotional life, but we start taking credit. Right? So this puja, lava, pratishtha, when it comes, what happens is, subtly I want to make myself distinct from others. मैं special हूँ. I'm some special. I'm not like others. I know so much. So I want to behave distinctively. The only distinctive person in this world is Krishna. He is the only enjoyer. Everybody else is enjoyed. Prabhupada in 10th canto Bhagavatam mentions about the difference between distinction and variety. There can be a variety of enjoyment. Krishna in Vrindavan has cows, gopas, elderly gopis, so on and so forth, grass, peacocks. There are varieties, but everybody is in the mood of enjoyed. But the moment you hanker for that, you are looking for distinction and you are trying to become enjoyer. And when you try to become enjoyer, that is the mentality of subtle sex life. Everybody, whether you are in female body or male body, everybody is enjoyed. The only enjoyer is Krishna. But everybody in conditioned life has that mentality of being an enjoyer. That's why we seek attention. We dress ourselves attractively, we do something so that I feel distinct. That is why it is called subtle sex desire. So, that's why it is so important to do some reflection, some introspection. Am I simply living? Or am I having a simple living? So what are the 3 things I told about simply living? Unrestricted family attachment. Second is unwanted inquiries. And the third is unregulated sex life. Now if you have to sum it up completely, the whole thing that I have been talking about, all these things, एक सूत्र में अगर हमको डालना है, if I have to put it in one line, can anybody tell what is it that I've been trying to say? All this dhira, the definitions, there are 3 things. Then how we are directed by mind, not directed by mind. What is kamya kama? And I spoke about this simply life symptoms. If you have to put it in one line, what it is? Okay, yes, Manish, let's give it to the PhD. Yeah. Being sober, okay. What is the problem? Keeping the body and soul together, okay. Just do for that, okay. Control your senses. What is the problem? This whole statement that I made so far, how do you summarize it in one sentence? Attachment. The whole problem, if you have to put it in one line, what I have been telling so far, is that in our life, we want both Krishna and Maya. We are wanting both Krishna and Maya. And Prabhupada says, Krishna Surya Sama, Maya hoya andhakar. Jahan Krishna nahi tara Maya ra adhikar. We are wanting Krishna, but also we don't want to give up Maya. And they cannot exist simultaneously. Krishna Surya Sama, Maya hoya andhakar. So that's why simple life and simply life is not possible. So how much of Krishna we should have, how much of Maya we should have in our life? What do you think? People ask, no, Prabhu, hum log bahar kaam karte hain. There should be a balance between material life and spiritual life. Isn't it? What do you think? How much of Krishna, how much of Maya? Okay, if I ask you this question, rephrasing it. How many of you think Krishna consciousness is the most important thing in life? Okay. Some of you didn't raise hands. What do you think, Bala? It's not the most important? No, Bala. But you didn't raise hand. You're saying it is important, maybe there are other things also. Is that what you... Anybody else who didn't raise hand, what do you think? Why Krishna consciousness? What do you think, Krishna? Yeah.
As he said, right, I'm still far away. I'm going to take some time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one day that's going to happen.
Okay.
It's just, I don't know.
Krishna consciousness, I just want to give you that perspective. Krishna consciousness is not the most important thing. It's the only thing in life. The moment you say that it is the most important, that means there are other things which are also important, which I have to also do. Actually, there is no question of balancing material life and spiritual life. There is no question. Either you do something which is direct Krishna conscious, or you dovetail your activities in Krishna consciousness. That's it. There's nothing like balancing Krishna consciousness and Maya life. It doesn't happen. So when we come to that we understand how by becoming dhira, our goals in life becomes aligned. That seriousness within dies down in some material activities here and there. Turnam yateta napated anumrityu yavan. Turnam means immediately, yateta, endeavor for this. Turnam yateta napated anumrityu yavan. Nishreya shaya vishaya khalu sarvata syat. So the purport, the line that we took, where Prabhupada is saying that they are all nature's gifts and are produced by the hills, oceans, etc. by the order of the Lord, when a man does not waste his valuable time in producing unwanted things in the name of necessities. So if we remember this, and instead of wasting time simply living, we start simple living, that we can achieve the highest perfection. I'll stop here and see if you have any questions or comments. No questions, we'll stop here. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanand.